The news, friends, is making Billy Jack sad now. You don't want to make Billy Jack sad now, do you? Well, friends, here's what I'm hearing on the internet chit-chats and whatnot. There are folks posting that there is a famous author by the name of Mr. Dent who is predicting a huge 40% or some such thing crash for Australian property. Now, when you consider the price of Australian property, friends, y'all got to consider the cost of inflations and such. When the inflations go up, and in real terms, I believe, I don't know what you folks think, but things are getting more expensive around here in Brisbane town. And when them wages go down, I don't know what your experience is, but as I understand it all, some of them jobs are being shipped out to the Philippine Islands and to India and such. Because these days you got the internet and the fancy computers. And over there in the Philippine Islands and in India and such, they even got workers over there who are so rich today that they can buy one of them fancy computers to put inside a bag. And they can work anywhere they damn well like. Piecework over there is now not making clothing and such. It's making the computer stuff. So them folks can do anything from their computers with the radio internets and such, and they can use it out of their bag. Now, Mr. Dent's predicted demographic crises and such, but I'll tell you something, friends. There is a prediction that property will go down maybe as much as 50%. Some folks are saying it'll go even more. I don't know what to say, but y'all getting your heads around Mr. Dent's predictions of a big old property crash? Well, friends, it has already crashed when you all consider the value of the dollar in the last few months and such. But even if it does crash 30 to 50% or so, which people say it will over a long period of time and such, because I don't know if it'll happen quickly, but when you consider other things, it may in fact crash when you consider it compared to golds and such. I don't know. I'm no expert. This is just my thoughts, and you don't take none of this for anything but a grain of salt and just what I've heard, any advice or anything. It ain't the big crash, friends, even if it does crash that much. The big crash will be the ever-increasing exodus of them fine young folks that we produce here in the greatest city in the world, Brisbane town, my home. Y'all see, them young folks have fancy degrees and such, and they ain't buying nothing. You see, back in the old days, people used to buy them big-ass cars and then buy a house to impress the ladies so they could get access to the and they could go in and out all they wanted, get married and such, and pump out all them consumers, little kids. You see, this is the pump them out of the wombs and such to raise a family. You gotta buy stuff for the next 20 years or such or more. And you see, today there ain't no demand for it. Here's what's happening, friends. You all can buy what was $50,000 back in the day for $5,000 now. You can watch my video about the $5,000 computer and the future of the Australian economy. And today, them things are even portable. Heck, I mean, y'all can even carry them around in a bag. It's amazing, friends. Now, them young folks ain't buying cars. They don't see houses as important and such. And they could live in a major world city with the real buses and trams and the underground trains, all them fancy ones that leave every 10 minutes and such. And they can do it real cheap. And they can do it for probably half or a quarter of the cost of doing it here in Brisbane town. So they ain't gonna hang around a retirement village full of y'all, including me, I gotta say, carrying on about your impressive pagodas, or in my case, penthouse apartments and such. They ain't gonna hang around, friends. They ain't gonna pay the rents. They ain't gonna buy them shack of sticks and bricks out there at the ass end of Hawthorne or Clayfield or some other ghetto suburb, and they ain't gonna rent it and be at the mercy of bogans who think they'll be millionaires through housing. No, they won't. They just gonna take them fancy degrees, which is a lot piece of paper, and put them in an envelope. And they're gonna take them fancy portable computers, they're only like 5 kilograms or such, and put them in their bags, and they're gonna go. Y'all may not know this, but they also tell me them fancy clothings and other shops overseas are 2/3 the cost of the ones here. Okay, so them folks don't need to buy household stuff and work for it all like we used to when I was a young man. And they can work overseas and such and live in a normal economy with rent and ownership balance and such. Heck, y'all can rent an apartment in a major European city for $1,000 a month, friends. You can walk everywhere and such, and them young folks can work with their fancy degrees and their fancy skills and such in this modern world in which we live. But there is some hope, friends. Them folks from the third worlds and such, they all want them bibbling goods. So I guess if we keep importing them folks from the third worlds, then I guess they will all shop at Harvey Norman's and listen to Bogans with Ties, otherwise known as real estate agents, and pump out the consumers from their busy wives' wombs and such, and keep it all alive. So there is hope there, friends. I just hope we do not end up like over there in Neo Soweto, in London town, where they got real problems with that. But hey, think of the bright future, friends. Bogans and third world folks, neighbor to neighbor, that's the future right there, friends. They're the future of our economy. They're gonna spend up big on them cars and them fancy houses and fancy addresses and such and them big ass investment properties and their fancy computers, and they're gonna buy them every 2 or 3 years and upgrade with the fluffy dice and they're gonna rent them DVDs and buy them takeaway pizzas and such. Well, friends, that could be the future. But as for them young folks with the fancy degrees, Generation Tent is at the departure gate, friends, and please see my video on Generation Tent. And it makes me sad, friends. So, goodbye, Generation Tent, perhaps, and hello, Mr. Shanty in Shanghai or Mr. Bogan Bombay. Welcome to Australia and spend your money, damn it. That's the future of our great country right there, friends. So the 50% crash predicted by Mr. Dent or whatever he said, 30-40%, it ain't the nightmare, friends. A real nightmare will be saying goodbye to our brightest young folks. And it makes me sad, friends. Okay, friends, please let me know your thoughts below. Tell Billy Jack the truth below. Share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you are a Bogan. Give me a thumbs up if you ain't a Bogan. Okay, friends, tell Billy Jack the truth below. Bye for now.